Hi guys, Emma Dayton here with the Daily Signal, and I am standing just off the track for Washington, D.C.'s first ever Grand Prix race here in our nation's capital. And I am standing currently with one of the drivers in this weekend's race, Sting Ray Robb. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yeah, happy to.
Now, first question I have to ask is, tell me a little bit how you got your name.
That is usually the first question, so I'm glad we're getting that out of the way early.
Yeah.
The story goes, my parents were big Corvette fans, so they decided to name me after the Sting Ray Corvette. That's the short side of the story. The longer side of the story is that my dad's side of the family's heritage is from Stirling, Scotland. So Sting is just a shortened version of Stirling. And then both my grandfathers had Ray in their name, so bit of a combination deal, which worked out well. But I think it was just an excuse to name their kid after their favorite car.
That's awesome. And now you are racing every day for your job.
Yeah, it's pretty good deal. So I wasn't going to be a very good insurance salesman or accountant. So I don't think anyone would trust me with a name like Stingray. So the passion kind of led to the profession, so to speak.
Well, you came here all the way from Indianapolis. How does it feel to be racing in our nation's capital during the country's 250th birthday?
It's amazing. This is not an expected event for us. You know, when we were looking at the calendar a year ago, we didn't see this on the calendar. So it was a late addition. It's a brand new track, brand new street course for us, which is not uncommon. We were just in Markham, Ontario, Canada last weekend for a brand new street course for us as well. But when we're in weekends like this, you have to adapt, you have to kind of figure out what's going on. But this is about more than the racetrack. This is about the show that we're putting on, the celebration that we're having for America 250. So for us, we look at the backdrop that's behind us, in front of us, the National Gallery of Art, the Smithsonian, the Capitol building down at the end of turn one. All those places are amazing to look at, and it's really hard to focus on the job at hand because as an American, I'm like, wow, this is incredible.
So we are currently standing in the pit lane. Tell us a little bit about what's going on, what people are setting up, and why the pit lane is so important to the overall race.
So pit lane is very important for us drivers because that is where we get our tires and fuel. So we have a crew of guys that will be in pit lane ready for us to do a pit stop. And so when the tires run out, when the fuel runs out, we got to have a group of guys that can get us charged back up to head out on the racetrack. What is happening right now is they're getting set up. So every team has their own sort of pit box that they have their dedicated crews work out of. And so you'll see the fuel rigs, the pit timing stands. That's where the strategy is kind of held. That's where the brain trust is. So my engineers, my crew guys, they're always in my pit box, prepared for me to come in, make a stop, but also they're kind of planning ahead and forecasting a future for when we need to make a stop, what changes we need to make, and what we need to do for a long-term success.
And how many people does it take to put a race on for you?
So our team is just for two drivers. It's my teammate Renus VK and I. And for us two drivers, the two vehicles, I think that there's upwards of 50 people involved.
Wow.
So what you see here, there's 3 trucks and trailers, 3 haulers that the cars will show up in, but also the crews bring the rest of the gear in. And so they'll unload the trucks. So we have the truckies that we call them. Okay. They drive the trucks to and from. A few of those guys, and then they also do tires on the weekend. But between the engineers, the mechanics, the additional hospitality folks, the truckies, there's probably 80 plus employees that are based out of the shop back in Indianapolis.
Wow, that's incredible. It's estimated that about 140,000 people are going to be at the race on Saturday and Sunday. And I think normally around 1 million people watch the IndyCar online. They watch it live. So what is something that the average person standing on the sidelines or watching on TV at home may not understand about how physically demanding IndyCar racing is?
So what people won't see is that our cars don't have suspension like a street car. So when we're on the streets of Washington, D.C., we feel every single bump. Our spines are getting jolted around. It is a bit shocking. It can knock the wind out of you if you're not careful. Now for us, we don't have power steering either. So all those bumps, that feeling that we have, that fidelity that we have, we can feel in the steering wheel. It's trying to knock the wheel out of our hands constantly. So we have to be very prepared, physically prepared, to step into the car and drive at a high level. So a lot of the training that we do is around kind of high endurance, still some strength so that we can be able to turn the car without power steering, but neck strength. Neck strength is a big part of it. So when you're pulling 4.5, 5 Gs on the circuit, you got to be able to hold your head up. And we're doing 147 laps around this place. So 147 laps, you're going to feel like a bobblehead. So we have to make sure that our necks are nice and trained, that we were able to see around the turns. make sure that our heads are staying up in their brake zones.
Yeah, and a lot of time and effort and preparation goes into training for that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you've been incredibly vocal about your faith, and you have merch online and it says "For His Glory" on it. And you've said in previous interviews that your faith is the foundation of your life and everything that you do. Can you talk a little bit about that and how you keep your faith central to racing and what it's like to be a Christian in IndyCar?
Yeah, thank you for asking that question. It's fun to be able to have the inspirations that I've had growing up. Tim Tebow was a big inspo for me. And so when he ran the John 316 eye black, the national championship game, I saw that as a kid and I was like, all right, what's going to be my eye black? And so I was in karting at the time and I would run pink duct tape in the shape of a cross on the front of the Go Kart. And I'd write like the verse of the week on it. I didn't love the color pink, but I knew it would stand out from the crowd. And so that's why I did it. I wanted people to look at it. I wanted them to understand what I was standing for. But growing up, my faith kind of became more and more integrated into my career because I saw the impact that it had in my identity. And in a results-driven industry like this, there's a lot of highs and a lot of lows. And on a day when you win, you want to know who you are. You want to have the humility to come back to that foundation to work from. But on the losing days, just as much, you want that foundation to carry you forward. And so for me, that's been my foundation, is my faith and who Jesus Christ is. And so when I'm at home and I'm studying the Bible, I'll underline things that are true. Like, what is the truth that I'm going to stand on? Or what is the character of God that I see? And what does it say about me? And that's a place that I get to work from. And so we're working from a place of victory, not for victory, which is really cool in a paddock like this where everyone's chasing excellence and we're doing the same, but we at least have that foundation of forgiveness and grace as an encouragement and also a place to have success in the beginning.
And have you seen that be a light to other people and impact the lives of other people here on the course?
I would like to think so, especially for the fans, because I'm very outspoken online. And in person, it's more difficult, right? Because I'm rubbing shoulders with these guys day in and day out. So they see the highs and lows, and they get to see my character play it out over time. So hopefully, I've planted some seeds along the way, but just trying to be an encouragement and inspiration like others have before me.
Yeah. You mentioned there's a lot of highs and a lot of lows in the racing business, and you put your life on the line every time you step into that car and you sit behind that steering wheel. Can you talk a little bit about what's been maybe a low for you in a difficult moment, but something that you had to really rely on your faith for and rely on God for?
Yeah, I've had plenty of lows. In karting, I remember there was many days where like our trailer burned down one race, and then an engine blew up, and then another engine blew up, and so we're like, man, why do we even show up at the racetrack? And we had an opportunity to pray with a group of people because it wasn't just our trailer that burned down, and get to experience an encouragement of faith with them because of those hardships that we went through. And so those lows we've seen as opportunities more often than not. And over the course of the last 4 years that I've been in IndyCar, I haven't had the highest of highs. I haven't won a race yet in IndyCar. I'm still a young driver, so I'm trying to work my way up. But during that season of waiting, that desert season that Christianese answer, right? I've had to have my faith strengthened, and I've had to rely on God's promises that He has for us outside of what our career might hold.
That's really good. A lot of people from Gen Z watched you. You mentioned you're a young racer. So what are some words of wisdom you could offer to Gen Z? There's a lot of debate nationally whether Gen Z is equipped to be the next leaders of the country and where the country is headed with Gen Z at the forefront. So what are some words of wisdom maybe you would offer to some of your peers and those who look up to you?
I would start with this. There is nothing new under the sun. The wisdom that happened many generations ago is still wisdom today. And so as Gen Zers, I think that we should pursue wisdom and knowledge, but not for the sake of utilizing it against people, but to build our own character. And when we have great character, we can lead well, we can have great accountability, and we can have the right answers at the right times. And so seek wisdom and knowledge and hold true to your character.
That's really good. And then what is the vibe you are getting from other racers on the course? Are they excited to be in our nation's capital? What is the spirit like behind the scenes before you step into the race car?
I think we're all excited. All the drivers here, I think they're looking forward to the race, but more to the show that we're able to put on here. Because like I said, this backdrop, unbelievable. And it's a once in a lifetime race. I think that this will be the last time that we get to do anything like this. I'll wait for this car to go by. But the 300th birthday is another opportunity, but none of us will be racing at that point. So 50 years from now, who knows, we'll be in leadership. Who knows if we'll get to come back, but I hope I'm not driving IndyCars at that point. Hopefully I've moved on in life. But yeah, I think this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I think many of the other drivers have that same thought.
That's really good. And what is one thing that you hope to leave the crowd with, and you hope to leave viewers with, who find out who you are, and hear your story?
Yeah. Hopefully they think IndyCar is cool, because it is. We love what we get to do here. Our passion for motorsports should be first and foremost when it comes to our on-track action, and we put on a great product. So our racing is some of the most entertaining in the world, in my opinion. The competition level is super high, so for us, that's what we promote. But at the end of the day, I want to be remembered for my faith. That's a legacy I want to leave behind me, so hopefully people can be encouraged through that as well.
That's so good. Well, Stingray Robb, thank you for being here with the Daily Signal, and best of luck in the race this weekend.
Thank you.